trying to pull up the article here.
And for all of y'all that tuned in for the topic of the day, we will be getting to that, dealing with the Anti-Semitic Awareness Act.
Right.
We will be dealing with that. So stay tuned.
So, as a lot of people know, I just retired last August, and me and AJ are members of WCA. Yes, you could have members in law enforcement, and you could have civilian members also, because we both knew the importance of having an organization of officers of color. One thing that has been in past meetings over the last three years, the double standards on how women are treated, and especially Black women up at the Westchester County Jail. I hold no bones about it. I've sent many, many, many women of color to the EEOC to make complaints. And since, COVID, EEOC is very slow. And for advice for anybody who's watching this, don't go to the county EEOC. File with the feds. That's almost asking police to investigate themselves. But file with the feds if you feel that your rights are being violated, especially because you're a woman or a Black woman. Don't file with the county, file with the feds. And it's nice people, work with the county, but it is what it is. We're talking about transparency. We're just
even when getting a civil rights attorney to handle certain things like that, you should get an attorney most likely outside of Westchester.
Right. If you can't get Mayo,
right,
you get an attorney outside of Westchester County.
Right.
If you can't get Mayo Bartlett or Randolph Scott McLaughlin, get an attorney outside of Westchester. I'm keeping it 100. Get an attorney outside of Westchester. If you can't get Randolph Scott McLaughlin, right? Or his wife, Nancy Cohen, right? Or Mayo Bartlett,
right?
Go out of Westchester. Don't even waste your time. I'm talking about civil rights attorneys. Until one
civil rights attorneys,
unless one is in law school right now about this, that's different. That's different. So
shout out to William Wagstaff. He's a civil rights attorney that's been done some good work too.
Yeah.
I wanted to shout him out.
I forgot about William. Yeah, William Wagstaff. William Wagstaff. He does his thing. Well, he comes out of the camp of Randolph Scott McLaughlin and Mayo Bartlett.
That explains that.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, man, it has to be addressed. And the reason, and one of the main reasons this article was wrote, because the president of WCA, and AJ, you could talk about this too, the president was brought up on Facebook charges from the organization's page. Now, if an organization is posting something, let
me just say something. I am affiliated with the WCA. I'm not sure if I posted that particular comment, but I have privileges and administrative privileges for the WCA page, the Westchester Corrections Association page.
That's my point.
So to say that the president necessarily wrote something that appeared on the page, and let me be clear, I have a lot of contacts in the Westchester Department of Corrections that wasn't just Damon and wasn't just the president of WCA. I wrote several stories that Damon didn't know nothing about, and he got calls about. He was like, "What you talking about?" Because he didn't even know. Because people, I'm just saying, I just want to put that out there. I have access to several members, including the union presidents and all that, to get information, and I've done stories. So I have privileges to post on here. So to say that the president, who is or was a correction officer, posted those comments and to go after her is unacceptable because you can't.
Right.
You don't know she wrote it. I wrote some
Exactly.
of the stuff that's on there. I don't know if I wrote that particular comment, but I wrote some of
And
the
so
stuff
did
on there.
I. And so did
Yeah.
I. So the whole and we knew that was false because unless you don't contact Facebook and the FBI to get to get the computer
Transcript or the records.
no what's the computer tag
Yeah. I
I can't even think of the name right now, right? IP address. Unless you got the IP address, you ain't got nothing.
And let me just say,
really
anything we post, speaking specifically of Damon and I, we have receipts to back it up. So please come after us. I'm saying please come after us.
Wait. That's not even the case, right? We're not even going to take it to that level because they understand. What I'm saying is to charge this woman for organizational Facebook posts that clearly you couldn't prove it was her. And just like I spoke to the union president, I'm like, if this goes through, I got all the screenshots of all the white officers that talked about Lattimore and had pictures of Joe. And y'all can kick me out the group. I really don't care. Pictures of Joe, but you can't do one or do the other. And this is another example when a white officer made a post and it went viral. I don't care if it was in a private set. People were screenshotting it and sending it all over the department. There's nothing private. There's nothing private about social media.
The word social should tell you that, but go ahead.
Exactly. There's nothing private. Even if you kick me out the group, guess what?
Somebody will screenshot it and send it to us.
And send it to me.
Right. Which is where we get half of most of our information.
Or send it to the person that you're talking about. And the thing is, this officer here, which I don't even understand, is complaining, I guess it's about post bidding and people being out with their contractual rights to address whatever their health issues are.
But only officers of color, from what I understand.
Let me finish.
Okay.
You cannot, and you're not a medical doctor. And now you're violating HIPAA rules. And then someone from the county is like, they violated. Dude, I've been working there 33 years. I know the social media policy. If anybody within the 33 years have been talking shit on social media, it's me. So I know the policy. And I know what you can do and what you can't do. And that you can't do. And nothing that the WCA did would warranted Officer Brooke Jones, to be brought up on those charges. But this is how they do black folks, and nobody want to talk about it. Nobody want to talk about it. I don't care if we got a Latino first deputy commissioner or another black deputy commissioner. Black folks are still getting a double standard. What did the professor say in her speech? Black faces and places don't help us. So now we at this point. And yes, WCA put out a statement to make sure Joe Spano bring this officer up on charges, because the officer that he mentioned, they all were officers of color.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I was.
And that's unacceptable. That's totally unacceptable. I know one officer now went to the deputy commissioner, Gerald, and harassment got worse. And now she's seeing a psychiatrist every month. These are facts.
Harassment from the officers or harassment from him?
The supervisors. See, I had to get up out of there because I was going to knock one of them goddamn captains out. And I'd rather save my retirement instead of seeing them walking around with a broken jaw. Because they push you too far. And then you cover for that nonsense. The department covers for the nonsense. They suspended a black sergeant for the same captain. They cover for the nonsense. When you have constant people giving you stories and trying to come to you for help, then why don't you look at the person? You need to get that man some help. You have to get him some help. That's the point. Nobody is addressing the cause. They just want to cover things up, don't want nobody to talk about it. So that's the problem. So yeah, that officer needs to be brought up on charges. And there needs to be some more accountability on how y'all treat people, especially black people. And then you want the person to write them up. How you go? Well, hell, the female officer went to the deputy commissioner and she got more harassed. So what does that point? Well, what did that prove? It proves nothing. It really proves nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I was confirmed that the investigation is ongoing and it was a violation. I already knew that. But this has to be addressed and it has to be fixed. Instead of and you need to talk to your supervisors on how they talk to people. Correction officers work in a job that's highly stressful. And you never know what's going to happen one day. What's the ongoing joke in the Batman comics with Joker? It just takes one day. One bad day. It takes one bad day. And some of y'all supervisors be pushing these officers to have that one bad day. Which is backed by the department because they don't check these supervisors. So somebody needs to do something. If the union's not going to do anything, then someone needs to do something. And I think in months to come, we're going to have open discussions about what's going on up there and how they treat black women. Because it needs to happen, because it needs to change. And elected officials, not everything is a union problem. Oh, well, they need to talk to the union. No, you need to talk to management. It's something simple that's in the Bible. Treat people how you want to be treated. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't be in any type of power position over no 750 officers. Straight music. So we're watching, you know, and then people are like, well, what you talking about before you retired? I'm still a member of the organization and I can say what I want to say. I said it when I was working there and I'll say it here. Especially when it affects people that I worked with over decades.
And as the publisher and editor of Black Westchester, it's our job to address stuff like that, regardless. I ain't never worked there, but that's the job, to shed light on situations like that. So that's why we're talking about it. That's why I wrote the article.
And since nobody else is doing anything about it, and many of y'all and the ones that's criticizing work there. Just in case, because I know it's going to be some. Many of y'all got my number. You got a problem, you can call me. So let's move on to the next subject.
Yes.